Hey folks, it's Michelle and Nat here from Bellair Farm. We wanted to do our annual update video, and we also kind of wanted to give you guys kind of like a little low budget one take tour of some stuff around the farm. So I'm gonna flip my camera around and we'll do the first stop on the tour.
We're not going to edit this because that's too much work, so what you see is what you're going to get. This is our brooder. We just got our first batch of chicks 2 days ago, so they're just 2 days old. We're going to be doing 6 batches of 325 each this year, and yeah, just our pasture chicken operation here.
They're in the back.
Yeah, they're kind of all crowded. Let me,
there we go.
I can even flush them.
Dad's gonna flush them.
You guys look comfy.
There's some babies. There they are. The flow of chickens. So we got a really awesome brooder setup. Nat has all the the lights linked together so we can raise them all up simultaneously. And yeah, they're doing pretty good in here.
Yeah, the first brood is always kind of the hardest because it's pretty cold out, and subsequent ones become a little easier. There's still some things that I'd like to switch up in here, but I feel happy about a lot of it. And the chicks are doing really well in here. They're all warm and happy.
Oh, he's got a couple in his hands right here. Oh wow, yeah, that has a little coloration.
A different breed than we've raised before. Well, actually, I have raised this breed in the past. We're switching back to them. They're called a Freedom Ranger, and yeah, they're a little hardier. They take a little longer to grow out, but I really do enjoy working with them.
Yeah, so there's going to be a whole blog post live about the chicken production in particular, and if you want to read more about that, you can check that out. And another thing we kind of wanted to share with you while we're here looking at all these cute chicks is just kind of an annual update on our labor situation. And you want to share the good news, Nat? That we have, everybody's pretty much coming back.
Yes, 100%. I was like, well, what's the good news? We have a 100% return rate on all of our field staff, all the folks that work on the farm, making the production happen. And so that,
yeah, so all of our full-timers from last year, our market managers are returning.
Yep.
Both of our livestock people are returning.
Yep.
Our 4 H2A crew, our visiting workers, they're returning. Our administrators returning. Nat and I are still here, so we really got the dream team going into 2024, don't we?
Yeah, we do, and that it just means a lot to us. Both just, with that people are enjoying working here, and just the smoothness of having returning people come back to the farm. They know where everything's at. They can build on the skills that they developed last year. We can continue training, and just really gets a smoother working experience for everyone, I think.
Yeah, and we've been spending a lot of time this winter kind of doing a lot of professional development with all of these people. When we have folks who are returning, it's really worth our time to kind of invest in these folks. And so one thing that Michelle, have personally been doing is I've been taking over the bookkeeping, and that's been a big learning curve for me, and it's going to be something that's awesome for the business. Nat, you and some folks went to the Virginia Forge in Grassland.
Yep. We went to the Sorry, we've
got this is what's going on out here.
We're just making a racket.
We'll
talk about them in a second. We're not focused on that yet. We went to the Virginia Forage and Grassland Council Winter Conference, which is always got a lot of really great information on raising beef on grass, and is really great to get with a bunch of other producers. It's also a really affordable conference, which is awesome. I really appreciate that organization. They have a lot to offer the area. It was $40 for the day with a meal, which, most conferences are going to be $100 or above that. So just some really good information to get, and feels good to be able to take the time to do that type of stuff in the winter.
Yeah, and then lastly, our kitchen manager, Mackenzie, has been doing training relating to that. We'll get into some more of that. We're going to show you guys the kitchen here in a second. And the last thing, we'll just get some little chick footage here. Look at them eating. They're so precious. Is Buy a Bushel. That was a program that really, worked really well for us. We were really happy with how supportive folks were, and the organizations that we worked with were just absolutely thrilled with getting that produce and those eggs. And so that's something we're not sure exactly all the forms that's going to take this year, but we do plan on continuing that Buy a Bushel program into 2024. And so look out for that. We're thinking about setting it up as a recurring weekly donation in addition to kind of those one-off when we really have overstocks and stuff. But I think we're going to get out of this chick brooder. We're letting a draft in here, and we're going to get out of here to keep these guys warm. And we're going to go see what these hogs are up to.
So this is not all the pigs we've got on the farm by any means, but these guys are getting loaded to go to the processor pretty soon here, so I like to get them up a couple days ahead of hand so we can just have all that go smoothly. And they're just going to be in here eating, sleeping, doing their thing for a day or two, and then going out to our processor.
You a big old piggy?
Yeah.
These guys usually are outside, and they usually have a big area to be in. So this is much smaller than anything they're ever in. But with it being so muddy and wet out, they're actually really pretty happy in here. It's dry, it's covered, and so they're doing pretty happy in here. A bunch of them just laying up in that corner over there, and. Yeah, this is kind of like a nice, the hogs are kind of a nice place to talk about kind of some of our conservation work that we have been up to lately. And one thing is that we have been doing tons of spot mowing, and we've been noticing more and more clumps of warm season grasses on the farm. We're able to kind of identify target species like elder, buttonbush, other sort of native shrubs and things like that we want to keep. Even clumps of wildflowers like goldenrod or things when they're going to seed. We're kind of, if that field needs maintenance, sort of mowing around and not hitting everything. And that's kind of a nice strategy because then it preserves some of that cover, some of that food, and creates just diversity in the landscape. Diversity in the landscape is going to result in diversity in the species that reside there, and overall, it's just a good bet. And then Nat has a little elder operation that he's doing on the side here, and that's kind of cool. We'll show you some elder cuttings in a second, but we're thinking about kind of doing some actual planting of that on our own. We have our silvopasture that is coming in really nicely. Nat's been fencing those animals out of the silvopasture, fencing the cattle out because they kind of lean on the trees and we'll eat them and
they need like 3 to 5 years to establish themselves, and then we'll be able to let the cattle in on a more limited basis, and then there will be a point where they'll just be able to be in there, and they won't negatively affect the trees.
Yeah, and so that's pretty awesome. We are looking forward to partnering with Little Blue Stem Collective this year, which is an organization that they've got a native plant nursery. They specialize in warm season grasses. They're going to lead some plant walks. They're going to sell some plants out of the barn this spring. So that's a really fruitful partnership. Hoping to learn a lot from that myself. And lastly, Nat and I, it's been over a year now that we took our certified controlled burn manager course. And since then, we have not really engaged in any burning. It's really kind of a tough thing to get into. There's a big learning curve. There's risk involved. And we just want to make sure that we're being really responsible. And so this year we have a very reasonable goal to do at least one tiny little practice burn somewhere on the farm before winter falls again. And from there, that's how you learn, is you just kind of are doing things, you're watching. We're going to start really small and watch how that happens. There's lots of benefits of fire. There's some information about that on the blog as well that y'all can look at. And the Virginia State Forestry Service website has a lot of information too. But yeah, so I think from here maybe we'll go check out the let's walk around and let's go this way, and we'll pop in and we'll look at the chickens for a second. But one of the other updates was Nat, all the expanded grazing and everything.
Yeah, so last winter we got a big portion of the farm fence that was unfenced through the Thomas Soil and Water District, which they fence out waterways, and in exchange they give you drinker access in your field and kind of high quality fence. And that has been really great to have kind of more options for grazing. It's a lot of upland grazing. We have a lot of bottomland grazing. It's really nice having both those options. When it's raining really hard, you can get up where they're not going to pug the pasture and mess everything up. Gives us a lot more flexibility, a lot more diversity of species. We also are doing a little custom grazing this winter, which is just a term meant to to describe grazing someone else's cattle for them and getting paid for it. So we've got our cattle on the farm, but we also have someone else's cattle just for this winter. And they'll leave in April. But it's really nice for us to get some more animals on the farm, kind of have more positive animal impact.
Yeah, we've been kind of understocked for a while. And so what that means is the grass isn't getting eaten down to the degree that it should be. We've got thatch forming, and having a heavier impact, more animals, is actually going to be good for the pastures.
And heavier impact for a short period of time is the key, and really getting that manure down and then moving them on to another part of the farm.
Yeah.
Additionally, for the first time, we managed to graze some cover crop on some fallow veggie field. I'm hoping to do some more of that in March, and that is really great. It's really high quality feed for the cattle, and it also has a really positive impact on the crop fields by putting their manure down and then mashing that cover crop into the soil and getting that soil contact on that material is just feeding the soil. And that's all happening without us having to do tractor work. So if we graze the field down in the winter, we are not going to have to do the same amount of tractor work on that field to prepare it for the next growing season.
Yeah.
So it's less diesel, the cattle are getting better nutrition, and the soil is seeing a benefit. So that has been really exciting. And just hoping to continue doing that.
That's a really great point, Nat, and it kind of also is relating to ways in which we're going to use the pigs, and they're still over there, so use the pigs for conservation purposes as well, or establishing warm season grass areas, or, you know, kind of renovating some areas, getting rid of fescue, or whatever our objectives might be. These animals can be really great tools. The layers themselves can be tools for nitrogen application. It's all about this, like, very carefully curated and cultivated, like, planning, because there's food safety risks involved with all of this, and so that's why it's taken a few years to even have the systems in place, the record keeping in place, the flow in place of the arc of the year to be doing this stuff. And so it's a real achievement that Nat is able to graze on veggie pasture, and that we're able to kind of work in a coordinated way.
And
Ashley.
These are the Ashleys.
Nat calls every chicken Ashley. So there's Ashley, 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 and Ashley's.
There's a old cartoon called Recess, and in Recess there's 3 Ashleys, and they all look the same, and they're all kind of gossiping about each other and everyone else. And
that's definitely what's happening
here. This is our chicken barn. They're in here for like 2.5 or 3 months of the year. We'll be
this is like how they actually like. This is like the type of house that they normally live in. And Amira's in there. She's collecting eggs right now. But then in the winter we put them in here, and that's better for their overall like life. It's just dry. There's no mud in here, so it's just nicer for them.
Yeah, and
got some eggs coming through.
They're really, for us, the easiest set of animals to be putting out on the fallow vegetable fields, and we've been doing that for years now, and really just see a lot of positive benefit in the growing the next year. See a lot of really great benefit with the quality of the eggs, getting them out on fresh cover crop ground, letting them kind of do their thing and eat seeds and grasses and insects, and just kind of continuing to move them along. I think last year I was able to cover like roughly 7 acres with them. That's with like kind of weekly moves, and that is like I'm very excited.
Yeah, that's about 1/3 of our total growing area. So that's pretty cool that we can fertilize 1/3 of our area in a year.
And we still, I mean, there's still ground that we have not hit yet that I, am just always wanting to kind of have an eye on and keep that train rolling.
Cool. So we have reached our next stop here. I wanted to show y'all our mushroom logs. So the pile on the left is done, and the pile on the right hasn't been done yet. So these are our oak logs. We've got some red and some white oak here. You can tell the 2 different bark styles. And then these, you'll notice that they've got these holes drilled in them, and then this wax on them. This is a food grade wax that's sealing the mushroom spawn inside there. So we're gonna finish the rest of these logs. We'll set them up somewhere in the shade in some of these woods here, and we'll water them, and then they will fruit some shiitakes hopefully. So last year we cut down the logs. We got 75% of the way there, and we just couldn't bring it over the finish line. So that happens sometimes, doesn't it?
Really busy in April, and you have a lot of dreams about what you're gonna do, and then it's April, and you just gotta grow some food.
Dreams or delusions, little both. So now we're gonna stop by the last stop on the tour. On our way in, we'll check out this walk-in cooler. Oh yeah, Nat wants to show you his alder in here. So this building is cool. We got an extra walk-in up here. And in there, look, Nat's elder cutting.
So these are the elderberry cane, and this is all off the first year cane. You got to get the new growth from the last year, and we have 2 nodes. So one here, and you're gonna stick this stick in the mud so it's covering one node, and the other stick is just gonna be up here, and it will root here. It's possible that it'll leaf up here. That might not work, and it might just root from the soil. But I've got hundreds of these. So
yeah.
we're gonna
stick them all over the farm.
Stick them all over the farm, and I'm gonna plant some more for my production as well.
So very cool. And then we're gonna head into this kitchen. So this kitchen is a work in progress. We won't be making anything out of here until we get our inspection finished. And so here we go. This is the room. So here, this big boy, this is going to be the workhorse of the kitchen. This is called a steam jacketed kettle. It needs to be installed. But basically, this is essentially like a really giant like cooking pot, and we'll be able to make big batches of all kinds of things in this bad boy. And we got our dishes starting there. This is our refrigerator. And so, yeah, really exciting. The coolest thing about this space is that basically it's going to allow us to capture a lot of would-be waste products and also even out inventory on certain meat cuts. We're planning on making a lot of bone broth, beef, pork, chicken, maybe even lamb, and sort of using these bones and things, and chicken backs, chicken feet, things like that, that aren't super desirable to the end customer, and then through this kitchen, add value to it, prevent that waste, and turn it into something people want, and turn that into revenue that will support us in everything else that we're doing. One of the crazy things is like on our beef bones, I literally, we have multiple animals a year that we don't even ask for the bones back. Yeah. And the processor is just, I'm not even sure what they're doing.
Yeah, it depends. I think that there's a couple protein, like huge protein conglomerates that purchase waste material from slaughterhouses at a very low price, like almost nothing, almost as a disposal fee, and they turn them into pet products or like collagen products or just sort of like
the manufacturing
heavily processed protein products.
But basically, we've got all these bones. Like we've grown this animal. They're high quality. There's nutrient in there, and for us to be able to take that and then provide it to our customers, we're really excited about it. We're also gonna introduce a whole new line of like quick pickles, frozen soups, things like that, and sort of capture seconds tomatoes, seconds butternut squashes, onions that are about to rot, things like that. We can sort of capture them using this kitchen, and we're really excited about it. We have a particular employee, Mackenzie, who's going to be heading up this whole project, and we're just super happy this year to have an amazing crew of people working with us and helping us continue to do new things and expand and on to the next thing. Yeah. But we thank everybody for watching this year's annual update video. If you have any questions, let us know. We're always in our email, and we'd love to hear from you. So thanks everybody, and have a good day.
Bye.